made that choice as a grown man to settle her case
Mm.
for millions of pounds with highly competent attorneys fighting for him every step of the way and losing in the pretrial motions. His case is over and done with. It's never going to be resurrected. It's never going to come back because of the decision that he made as a grown man to settle the case.
It was one of the strangest photos ever seen in a newspaper. You know the one I mean. Two people fully clothed in a bath wearing masks of Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre. Ian Maxwell, the brother of Ghislaine, staged the photo in what he says is the exact bathtub mentioned by Giuffre in her sexual abuse accusations against Prince Andrew. Ian Maxwell believes it shows that what she says took place there is physically impossible. Now, Lisa Bloom is an attorney who has represented many victims of Jeffrey Epstein and won cases on their behalf. I asked her what had been her very first reaction upon seeing the mocked up picture.
I was shocked. I think it is bizarre and surreal. It's almost like it's a joke, but of course, this is a very serious subject matter. I can't imagine what these people were thinking.
Legally, what does this picture mean or do or change, if anything?
Well, it has no effect legally. I mean, look at Virginia's story. She says that she was in the bathtub with Prince Andrew. Here, the photograph shows two adults can fit in a bathtub. She says that he was then playing with her feet. Well, that's certainly possible based on that photo. And that the two of them then got out of the bathtub and went to the bedroom where the sexual abuse occurred. Nothing in the photo disproves that.
Hmm.
So I can't imagine what they're thinking by putting this photo out there with pictures of Virginia and Andrew on pieces of paper over their faces. I mean, it's very strange.
Why do you think that this picture has come out, and why do you think it's come out now?
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell seems to be embarking on a PR campaign to revive her reputation and Prince Andrew's reputation. And I guess reportedly, these are friends of hers who did this. Uh, but I think this is just spectacularly backfiring.
And what about the credibility of everyone involved in this particular case? If we talk about Virginia Giuffre, Alan Dershowitz was accused of sexual assault by Miss Giuffre, but she dropped the claim in November, saying that she may have made a mistake in identifying him. Which is, that is pretty serious stuff in itself. Does that go any way to undermining any of her credibility, in your opinion?
Well, saying that she made a mistake as to one person doesn't mean that she made a mistake as to another person. I mean, one could certainly argue that it bolsters her credibility that she's willing to admit that perhaps she was mistaken. But as to Prince Andrew, I mean, there is the photograph of her with him. We know that Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell were very good friends, according to both of them. And that Prince Andrew reportedly paid millions of pounds to settle her sexual abuse case. Why on earth would he have done that if he were innocent and he could prove his innocence? So that's a very different case.
I mean, of course, you've heard all the arguments, Lisa, that some people will say because he didn't want to embarrass his late mother at the time, and this was because he's a member of the royal family. This was something that he had to make go away.
Well, I don't think so. I've been doing sexual abuse cases for 35 years, and many times they do settle, but not for many millions of pounds if somebody is innocent.
Mm.
If he could prove, for example, where he was on the nights in question, that he wasn't with her, and his movements are often pretty well documented, and there are witnesses and there are journals and diaries as to where he is. He made that choice as a grown man to settle her case
Mm.
for millions of pounds with highly competent attorneys fighting for him every step of the way and losing in the pretrial motions. His case is over and done with. It's never going to be resurrected. It's never going to come back because of the decision that he made as a grown man to settle the case.
Mm. Now you represent Shukri Walker, who may have more evidence in the case against Prince Andrew. Has she now been able to provide that evidence?
Yes. So she, through me, provided the information to the FBI, and she gave media interviews, and she was willing to do a deposition in the case. The case settled before she was able to give that deposition, but she was willing to do it.
Mm.
And she was prepared to say that she saw the two of them together, Prince Andrew and Virginia, then Roberts, in the nightclub in 2001 in London. She
Mm.
remembered it vividly. She had a very clear story about what she remembered, and she placed the two of them together.
Now, finally, you talked about the deal that was the reach the settlement. That settlement with Prince Andrew included a clause that meant that Virginia Giuffre could not speak about the case for a year, and that expires, I'm pretty sure, on the 15th of February. Are you expecting her to break any kind of silence then?
I would expect that because she has been a tremendous advocate for women, not only victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but victims in general. I don't expect her to remain silent. I expect her to continue to use her voice to speak out, and I hope that she does.
And do you think we're going to see any other stuff like the Bath photo? Do you think that's the beginning of
Oh,
some kind of campaign, or do you think that that's it?
oh, I mean, I can only imagine what Ghislaine Maxwell and her friends think they're going to do next. She has an appeal pending. I think this is very poorly advised if anybody advised her to do it. I doubt that anybody did. I think she and her friends did this on their own, but it wouldn't surprise me. I can't imagine what's coming up next.
Neither can we. That is Lisa Bloom. She is an attorney who has represented many victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
And that moment where you saw that picture, and is that real? What have they,
What is going on?
what do they think they've proven with this?
One of the, and it's not funny, of course, none of it is funny, but the kind of the comment that got me smiling the most was someone said, "Why is Prince Andrew in inverted commas wearing fencing outfits?" Did look like that, didn't it?
The thing is, you have to
Whole
laugh.
thing is just
It
mad.
couldn't because the
You
issue
couldn't
is
make
serious,
it
but
up.
you really
Yes.
couldn't. You really
Yeah.
couldn't.